Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daniel, and today in this video we'll be covering some analysis on a critical moment in a game I played around 4 months ago on Lichess, another Lichess training game. I was playing black, and in this game I'm actually playing against the Fide Master, who was rated around almost 2500 at the time. So let's take a look at what happened in this moment. So here I just played the move bishop d4, offering a bishop trade here in this endgame. I'm playing black also. Here my opponent takes, I take, and my opponent takes on f6, I take back, and we get this endgame position. I have this pretty far advanced pawn on d4, and then I have these two pawns, and then I do have this split f and h pawn. So my opponent's plan, judging by what he did, he's trying to go after the h7 pawn, and then trying to force this 2-on-1 through, while I try to maybe work on the queen side and try to force this pawn through. So king to g4 was actually a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought my opponent would play king to f4 instead, which makes a bit more sense, preventing me from going king to e5. However, in the game, my opponent ended up playing king to g4. So here I played king to e5, sort of moving my king further up the board. Here my opponent plays king to h5, which is actually a bit of a mistake. And here I find the move c5. My idea with c5 is to go c4 and then play d3. For example, if you play king h6, then here I play c4. And I believe this should be winning for black, because white doesn't have a pawn that's quick enough to sort of get promotion at the same time. Obviously, there's no way to stop d3 and stop promotion. So white's only hope is to try to get a pawn that's quick enough to promote at the same time, but that pawn does not exist for white. So here, let's say c4, king h6, then let's say king takes on h7, then here I play d3. After we trade, if you play g4, trying to play g4, g5, g6, g7, then here I play d2, and this pawn on f6 actually stops your pawn on g5 from actually being able to promote. So this would lead to a win for black. So instead, after c4, my opponent plays b3, and here I simply play king to d5. My idea is to play c4 anyway, and then I can try to maybe work with this c2 weakness after we trade. So king h6, which is actually a losing blunder. The reason is because now I actually have c4. The idea here is if you play, let's say, king takes on h7, then here I can simply play c3. The idea with c3 is I'm going to play d3 next. Even if that sacrifices a pawn, my c pawn will get through. Let's say g4, then here I play d3. You want to stop d2, d1. So here, takes is logical. C takes on d3. Then here, I can simply play c2, and c1 equals queen. So going back, that's why here in this position, my opponent actually plays b takes on c4. And after king takes on c4, my opponent plays king takes on h7. Here I play king c3, going after this pawn. Here my opponent plays g4. I take this pawn, and then here my opponent plays f4. I play d3, g5, f takes g, d2, g6, d1 equals queen. And thankfully, I am one move. I have like one extra tempo. So thankfully, I'm able to stop this pawn from promoting, and I have this extra pawn, so I can just sack my queen for this pawn at some point, and then just push this pawn through. As you can see, I slowly do that here. Bring my queen closer. Here, a slight inaccuracy. Here, after king e7, I could have just went queen g8, and this is a very easy win. I just blockade the square that my opponent can queen on. Instead, here I give another check, and then just force my opponent's king back in front of his pawn, so his pawn can't move forwards. Here I just take, and then here, this king is way too far. Even though this is a rook pawn, my opponent's king is way too far in order to stop this pawn. Also, I have this king here to sort of shield my opponent's king away from being able to take this pawn. So very nice endgame technique on my part as well. It was, I believe, my first win against anything past a national master, online or even in person, or in any form of game pretty much. So this was my first win against like a Fide Master as well. So a very nice game. Very happy with the result, of course, beating a Fide Master, and also very nice endgame technique on my part as well. So hope you all enjoyed that game, and thanks for watching.